Sunday sesh. Here we go. Kind of almost done. I couldn't really be bothered, but it's all about that consistency, right? Just keep plugging away, keep trying, and see what's going on there. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. It's how consistency and how it can breed success. And that's that's a phrase that's been around for as long as time. And I mean, why are people saying that? Because there is maybe some truth in that. Well, whenever you start something, unless you've got some kind of freakish gift, you're never really going to be the best at it to begin with. It doesn't mean that you might not be better than others at it. In fact, you might be terrible. You might be awful. But I think one of the things is you kind of have to not be put off by that, especially. And again, I think I've mentioned this before. It's like you don't want that to put you off starting it, entirely. Let's just say learning a new language, for example. In your head, you might be. If we're talking Italian, you might be out there on the Riviera. You want to order yourself a nice Italian meal. I'm not going to stereotype too much more about what that could be, but you want to you're ordering and you're laughing and you're conversing on all this different language, and then you're like, yeah, let's do this. Like there's your goal. And that goal kind of motivates you and inspires you, and you start your first lesson. Maybe it's on a mobile app, maybe it's with a friend or anything, and then you're struggling to just say, remember, hello, my name is, and after that, it's only natural to think like, oh, you start to begin, maybe even think like, oh, how long is this going to take, and for me to actually get better. I want to be this good, and I'm over there, off the screen noob. But it's understanding that whole process of learning, and one great way to make sure that you're continuously improving is consistency. Is to keep on going. Sometimes you might not feel like it. You really might not want to practice. But if you can get something on the board, then you know what, you're one step. It might be a teeny tiny step, but you're one step closer to that initial vision or image that you had of yourself at the beginning, and the reason what made you want to start. And there may well be roadblocks along the way, but just knowing that all the effort that you put in is eventually going to end up you getting there to the end goal. If we take that in terms of training and nutrition, obviously something is always better than nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, say you have the chance to work out at one time a week. Obviously that's going to be better than just not training at all for several weeks. But if you can get yourself in some kind of routine, and that's the key there, routines and habits, good habits, then it almost puts you on a little bit of autopilot. You still have to be mindful of your sessions, and that'll probably be another talk that will talk about not just going through the motions, even though that's what autopilot is, but in terms of just getting yourself to the location. That's an important thing in terms of habit building. Say you want to be doing some study, and you're trying to do that, but the environment you're doing it in is maybe not as conducive as it could be to do. Maybe perhaps you've got a set amount of hours you'd like to try and achieve, or just points within a textbook, for example. You want to get to certain points just to keep the ideas fresh, so you don't have to keep re-going over things, because the the time it's taking you to read it once and then read it again is becoming so wide that you then have to re-go over things, and it's not like I say, it's not quite as conducive to a good learning structure. When you want to be getting the most out of that time and effort that you are putting in. You don't want to put in that effort and time and then find, just because of the either the surroundings you're in, or the structure of the way that you're doing things is then kind of undoing a lot of the good practices that you're doing, maybe once a week, once a fortnight. And so by putting yourself in a position, if we go back to that studying one, if you can get yourself into a library, it doesn't have to be a library, but some kind of quiet space that's going to allow you to get on and get your head down, and get on with your the task at hand. You might often find that you might actually have to, if you were measuring things in time, I don't think that's a great measure, but if you were, then you might not actually have to use as much time as you would in an environment where you weren't being quite as conducive, a noisy environment with lots of distractions. I don't think that's any secret or great surprise, but sometimes just saying it out loud makes you kind of be like, oh yeah, that's that makes a lot of sense. And similar can be said for training and stuff. You want to kind of have your goals and stuff and be quite focused on them. But obviously there's going to be times when you really kind of just don't want to go to the gym perhaps. But if you can just get yourself in there, to be honest, that's half the battle. And then once you're in there, a lot of the distractions and stuff are gone, and you can, even if it's not the best workout you've ever had, it might do, if you can just take away something small from that, even if it is just a few solid reps. Again, that's steps forward. That's steps towards where you want to be. It might not be as fast as you want to get there, but I think no one gets anywhere as fast as they really want. And something that you will find is that if you keep at it and you keep plugging away, then one day you do turn around and you'll be like, oh wow, I can do this now, and I couldn't do that before. I mean, if we're talking language, maybe maybe it is that conversation. If it's in the gym, then maybe it's some kind of weight, some kind of number of reps for of an exercise. Maybe it's a pull-up. Maybe you couldn't do one before, but you kept going in, and working on your program, and you just kept at it. You kept putting little building blocks and stuff, and maybe that's a better way to think about it. It's just like a great session might be seen as like a nice solid building block. You want to get up here, you put in a solid block, and then the next day you're like, I really don't want to go, it's raining and I feel terrible and everything else and stuff. And if you don't go, that block just still remains there. But however, if you did go and then you got in there, once you're in there, you're thinking like, well, I'm here anyway now, so I probably I could do something, and then that builds. It might not be the same as that big old block that you built up there, but it's like a little tiny little block there. And you know what? You're a little bit closer than you were before to getting to that point. And I think that's something that you need to just always bear in mind and stuff. Like any good practice is a step forward, and anyone can be quite quick or harsh, to self-criticize. I mean, your own worst critic, right? But if you're able to kind of like take a step back, you can kind of see that actually is going to help. Like any progress is progress. So just try not to keep too disheartened, and trying to. I think once you realize the importance of consistency, and getting sessions on the board, whether that be workout sessions, study sessions, language sessions, or anything else, just getting like something on the board consistently to stop you having to re-go over the same things. I mean, you can, in a learning concept, as well. But once the gaps start to build up too much, like for example, if we're talking about education and some kind of like a scientific concept, you might do like 2 hours study on it. Like, oh, okay, I finally grasped this. Yeah, I got it. And then if you wait 2 weeks, then, or a week, loads of things get in the way. You might then totally, when you then look at an example, when you're like, let me apply that thing that I learned before, and I did learn it. Let me try and apply that. It's like, oh wait, no, now I've got to spend time actually relearning it because it's been so long that I've actually kind of forgot a lot of that shit. And the same goes physically, really. With your muscles and stuff. I won't go too scientifically into it. It's not the point of this, but in that pull-up example and stuff. Say you're doing negative pull-ups. I'm not sure that's the right term really, but you kind of like you're up there hanging, and then you just slowly letting yourself down, getting better at the downward motion. If you were able to do that, a few times a week, as opposed to like twice in 2 weeks, for example. I mean, it's no brainer really, but even though during some of those other sessions, you might have thought, oh man, I don't feel as good this one, and this, I don't see how this is helping and stuff. Like, the fact is that each one of those has, and like with that building blocks, has helped you get a bit closer to where you want to be. So just to keep mindful of that. All right. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to train. I'm going to do squats, quite likely. Am I going to do lunges? No way. Calf raises? Not today. All right. Have a good one.